shall set us free. Welcome all to our Thursday night broadcast. Hope you enjoyed your week so far. Last week we left off. We were doing the intro. Boy, no, forgive me already today. The intro to the Law of Nations. I hope everybody's had some time to read over a lot of that information on your own. We're not going to go into all that kind of crazy stuff. We're actually kind of going to kick back tonight. We got couple of topics we want to hit up. Jose's been doing a bunch of research all day, but he's not here. He must have fell asleep or something, or is running a little late. Maybe he had to run out for a little bit, so he should be popping in and joining us shortly here. We were going to cover some of the different things going on, such as like the conspiracy side, if you will, of things. Like my PM just popped up on the board now. Give him a second. But anyhow, how you doing, Jess?
I'm doing fine. How are you today?
Oh, all good, kiddo. All good. Yeah, I didn't.
Some news for you. I was going to tell you this on Skype yesterday because it's totally irrelevant to the show, but I have some good news. If you want me to, I'll tell you.
Sure. Share.
I got a promotion from my boss yesterday morning, so instead of me only working maybe 30 hours a month, I'll be working 30 hours a week. And my salary goes up, too, because I work during the day instead of at night. So I think I'm going to take him up on that.
Congratulations. Absolutely.
Yay. Hard work pays off.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Amen. Fantastic. Good to hear. Yeah, it's kind of bummed out because I really didn't plan much anything tonight because Jose was doing so much on this. I figured we'd take up this whole show. He was running all the conspiracy rows and how it all connects and what's going on with like the Pope and just the society in general, all this cool stuff that is going on and bouncing around. So I didn't plan on much tonight because I figured, okay, I told him he can headline it and let him run with it and see where it goes. I didn't plan any PDFs. I didn't plan any information whatsoever.
I wondered why there was a chat room.
Yeah, so I was like, well, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I'm glancing over. Nobody's actually over in the chat room yet either. Everybody's running late today. Did the clocks get...
I was in there earlier, but apparently I must have opened my school window on top of the chat. Whoops. I do that a lot. I get so focused on school that I just don't even concentrate. I'll open like 5 or 6 different windows, and it's like, oh shit, I was supposed to have that window for such and such, or for the show, or whatever. I do that a lot. Wow, yeah, we're the only ones in there. That's sad. Jeez, everybody is late.
I know. Yeah, I know there's a clock change coming up here.
No, that's this weekend, isn't that?
I think so. And maybe that's what's got everybody kind of off kilter tonight. But anyway, since we were going to jump into some conspiracy stuff just for the hell of it tonight, take a break from all the law and all the advanced classes. Unless anybody, of course, wants to call in, please feel free to do so and ask any question that you like and share with us. 714-868-0749. Don't forget to hit number 1 on your keypad or on your, if you're calling in through Skype, of course, on your dial pad, digital dial pad. And that lets me know you want to get on air and share with us, whatever it may be.
I think maybe one of these times we should just, the regulars or, even the new people that are listening to the, like with me, the advanced shows, what we should do is we should just I think one day, out of every month, we should sit down and just have a whatever the hell day, listen to music, kick back, chit chat, shoot shit, whatever. That I just feel like you said, just to get away from the law.
Exactly. Yeah, we used to do that on a regular basis, like the Saturday night dance parties and all.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what happened to that. I kind of missed that.
Well, it just got too much between doing the Wednesday and Thursday here, and then Friday when we were doing the special broadcast. And put another day a week on top of me was just it was just getting to be a little bit too much for me.
Okay.
You
Oh,
know,
speaking of the Friday special broadcast, are we doing? Are we having one tomorrow? Because I missed last week's.
No, we actually finished up last week. It was just the 3 or 4 part series. So it's it's in the archives. You can catch it out in there. Andrew went over the theology side of it for everyone, and again, all his stuff can be found on YouTube as well as over there at radiojihad.org for any of that information. They're the headliners for all that. Anything revolving around Islam and the scholars and whatnot, they're all over there. So if anybody has any interest, they can absolutely go check them out. They're here on Blog Talk Radio 7 days a week. Sometimes their times are similar to ours, so we may both be on the air at the same time, but they usually get done or much earlier, so most of the people filter over from there will pop in from here when that show's over. That's why our second hours are usually a little bit more crowded, because all my buds and that, from as the one show ends there, they pop in to say hello and whatnot to me, especially in the Skype. So it's always cool. They let me know, hey man, they're supporting me, they're here, they're hanging out. Michael's already in the chat room with us. Thank you for joining us, along with several guests over on the Blog Talk Radio chat room. If there's anything on your mind, guys, please bring it up. Well, we're going to start doing these, kickback kind of shows on a more frequent basis, at least once a month. And tonight was going to be one of our kickoff shows for that. And that's why we're going to get into some of the conspiracy stuff. So I was just glancing over one of my favorite sites. Well, it used to be many years ago. It has really gotten out of control, or too much control brought in, especially since they don't allow too much truth to be brought out. They kind of close down threads, and they delete things, even stuff that has been there for many years, like some of my stuff, for no good reason. They just decide to finally delete the thread out. And that's over there on Above Top Secret. So just a couple of things that are highlighting at this moment, because it changes every couple of minutes. Let's see, Japan tsunami survivors turn to exorcists for help. Many claim they are seeing ghosts of victims. Let's see, North Korea threatens preemptive nuclear strike against aggressors. Ron Paul filibusters over drones. I will not let Obama's shred the Constitution. Tremors felt 45 miles away from Bayo Corny Sinkhole, wherever that is. Go ahead, what do you got?
Huh? Oh, sorry. No, I was growling in my browser. It decided to pull up something I didn't want it to pull up. It was being stupid. I forgot to mute myself. I'm sorry.
Oh, you don't have to mute yourself, dear. All good. Not today.
Yay. Okay. I'll feed myself, and if I annoy people, I'm sorry. I'm just being me.
There you go. We love you.
Good, because I'm kind of fond of you, too.
There you go. Of course, a lot of threads on the Hugo Chavez stuff. What's going on there since he's passing, who's going to take over, the elections that are happening there. So he seems to be an active thread with anything that's happening at the moment. Somebody's got one titled here, "The powers to be hope for and would love to see a U.S. city nuked. It would expedite their agenda 100 times." Yeah, kind of, and a lot there without that's just from the title. Right, but to give you some ideas of what the other people in the world, because it's a global site, it's not U.S. related or Canada or Mexico. It's the whole globe, like most of the internet. So you see information and news stuff from every place, everywhere, and it's pretty neat. So a lot of people just post links to news articles in their area that we may not get to see here. So some of them, if you just read the titles, you go through and you're like, oh, okay, well, let me see what's happening over there. And you can get gives you the links to get to their newspapers if you're interested. Let's see. Anti-government extremist groups increasing, says experts. Also, you get a ton of stuff on UFOs and things like that. It's like the hottest topic usually. Predictions and prophecies. That's one of the big topics, and just UFOs in general, and of course the New World Order. Those are a couple of the newer topics too here for topic breakdown for ATS and adding and separating stuff out. People have been asked to do so. Because before we were limited to a handful of sections, and over the years they've been adding more and more as the people would like to break into their own little section. My favorite thread is I'm always hanging out in the U.S. political madness section. That's where you find 90% of the stuff I post occur is under that particular topic. And you can go directly to these topics that are pretty cool. I used to have several of mine actually be right in the top 10. So that was always pretty cool. I've been on the front page of this site a couple of times. Highlighted in their news line a few times. So it's always cool when you can get that kind of reputation. Well, and let me see if I can... No, I still don't see a Jose. I got a couple more people on the board here. Remember, guys, if you want to get, or ladies, if you want to get on air, just put your hand up and we'll get you on air and bring up anything that's on your mind. But we're going to hang in here, see if Jose shows up. And in the meantime, we're going to play a song here, take a break. Maybe I could find something good to cover with everyone that's in the news that's happening. And hopefully Jose will be joining us very, very shortly. A little bit of law stuff to tap into here. It's something that's been around a long time. You can actually print it out, and I'm not giving it 100% endorsement yet. I actually have a couple of attorneys looking over this just to make sure all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed type of thing. And it's on the, you see everywhere you go, you see these no trespassing signs, right? Now, I laugh because a lot of people don't understand that as soon as you put that ing at the end of trespass, because that's how the signs are printed, actually makes that sign invalid.
What?
People don't realize that. And you get trespassing is the action. Ing is would be like the action word of it.
So you technically have to put "do not trespass."
It's no trespass. Yes. No
wow.
trespass. Yeah, do not put the ing at the end. Actually makes it invalid. But most of them are, just standard.
So I can walk onto somebody's property and they can be like, hey, no trespassing, and I can be like, dude, the ing invalidates it, kiss my ass. I can totally do that and get away with it.
Yeah, but you might get shot in the process, depending on who's at the property.
Dude, I got a gun, whatever. I'll shoot his ass, too.
There you go. Okay, you're a trip. But, that's just something that always, that to me, I always felt funny about seeing that. So, again, like I said, I'm not 100% on what I'm giving you right now. But anyway, there's one that's been out for quite a while. And I've asked and been researching this for a couple of years now. So, like I said, I make sure I get all my I's dotted and T's crossed. I'm still waiting to hear back from the attorneys on this. And this one's been drawn up for a while. And everybody I've had look over the document so far cannot find a negative in it. Okay, they cannot find where even them. I've asked officials even. Well, if you see this sign, if you read this sign and saw this no trespass sign, would you cross the line? And every single one of them had said no way. They would not do it. And this is officials, and I'm not talking just the general public here. These are everything from law enforcement to meter maids to for your electric bill and your gas bills and stuff like that. I cannot find one. Even had a code enforcement gentleman that was an acquaintance. I said, "Hey, check this out. I want to know what you think." Because shit, dude, you wouldn't catch me dead on that property.
I do.
And, yeah,
to be an asshole, I do it.
This is how strong the particular language is in this particular sign. And I'm going to share some of that language with you because just if you actually spent the time reading, and these guys do. Anybody who's in the business, that they have to. I don't care if you're a cable company, whoever you may be with. When you see these signs, unless it is preset that you're supposed to be there, in other words, you have an appointment to be there, type of deal. You can't cross onto somebody's property. In other words, you need that permission up front. That's just a basic rule. We all understand that. But now let's say it's not a scheduled appointment and you just haven't paid your electric bill and they're coming to turn off your electric. Well, obviously they're going to try to do it when you're not there. And that was my actual question to one of the people. I was like, well, if I had, read this over. And in the case of you saw this sign hanging up and you were set there to turn off the power, would you step on the property to turn that power off even though you're just trying to access and utilize your property, the property of the electric company that's on lease? Would you cross this sign? And they said, hell no. All right. There's a lot of power here. But again, until I get all my I's dotted and T's crossed, I don't recommend anybody doing this. It's just to give you an idea of what is out there. And it says, no trespass. Notice of foreign law on private land. Read before entering. You are hereby noticed that entering this land subjects you to this contract. This land is private and is not subject to public use or control. The owner has the character, and this is Latin that comes in, sol possidente esse. Over this land flies the American banner of peace, and the law thereon is the Holy Scriptures, and the Christian lex non scripta. The owner has enacted other various ordinance to which all who enter this land are subject. Among these ordinance is a $5,000 land use fee, charged per man or woman per day or any part of a day, for any man or woman, hereinafter leasee, upon entering this land without prior written license in his possession at all times while upon this land. Acceptance of all ordinance shall be evidenced by the presence of any man or woman upon this land, not in possession of said license, and shall create a constructive license agreement, binding leasee to the terms of all ordinance which the owner has laid upon this land. Said fee shall be deemed due and payable in full within 30 days from first notice, and payment shall be made in silver coin at full face value.
Oh.
Leasee hereby agrees that if payment of said fee becomes delinquent, that said amount shall become a lien upon all of leasee's non-exempt property. Any property brought onto this land by leasee is subject to impound until settlement is made in full.
Wow.
Other ordinances are in effect upon this land, to which all who enter are subject, unless exempted by license. Complete list of ordinance may be obtained from the owner. Ignorance of the law shall not be an excuse, nor shall it relieve any person from liabilities therefor. Notice is hereby given that any license, lease, or right of usage may be revoked with 5 minutes notice. Revocations shall not relieve anyone from liabilities already incurred. Verbal invites given 5 minutes grace as to fee only. Now, that's just a general paragraph. Down below that, we get into notice to agents of government. By entering this land, you accept all the above stated terms in full. Additionally, you affirm both individually and in your official capacity, under penalty of perjury, under the laws of these United States of America, Title 28, United States Code, Section 1746, that you will support the Constitution for these United States of America and the Constitution for the Republic, and all the laws promulgated thereunder in a conformance with the above-named constitutions, and will extend and protect the unalienable rights secured therein to the owner, and those under his protection, and will faithfully perform all the duties of your office as it relates to them. In compliance with the above constitutions to which you acknowledge that you have already taken an oath to perform said acts and actions to the best of your ability, violation of the rights of the owner or those under his protection shall be assessed at a civil penalty of $1 million in silver coin for each violation. Damages may also be prosecuted under Title 18 United States Code, Section 1621 and Section 241, and Title 42 United States Code, Section 1986, 1985, and 1983, resulting in up to 10 years in prison for additional civil penalties. The owner may be contacted by sending correspondence to the following location. Now,
Don't trespass.
saw that.
Sorry.
Especially being an agent of the government, which means any kind of law enforcement, any kind of military, anything to that effect. All right. You're going to cross it with those codes listed right out, with them calling the constitutional out. Now, how this works, especially in like places like Florida here in my state, the reason this works, we actually have on the books. We actually have on the books what's called the castle law. Every man is the king of his castle. Okay. So long as you're on your own property, that is your castle, you have the rulers over section. The rule guidance is for that particular property, if posted correctly. And like I said, all these years, I've not had anybody tell me that so far it's a non-enforceable document. And it's been a couple of years. And like I said, I'm just waiting from this last attorney who's really going over this with a fine-tooth comb to see if there's something missing or something that needs to be changed. But yeah, once I get that okay, trust me, it'll be posted on my land. I will have that posted. Go ahead, try to cross. Go ahead and try to come in with some BS. Because even if you got a warrant, even if you're anything, because I simply even asked about this. Well, suppose you have a warrant for that particular property, and this sign is hanging there. The people I've questioned even said even with a warrant, they would not be able to cross this sign. That's how powerful this is. And again, this is only for the United States, folks. If you're outside in Canada, Mexico, or elsewhere, and as a listener to the show, we have many great out there in the UK and Great Britain and all that. So, won't apply to you. You're going to have to really dig in.
My internet retarded too. Yes. Stupid crap. Damn it. Oh. Hello?
Hello.
Oh my gosh, dude, I've been sitting here freaking talking to myself, and I'm like embarrassing myself, and I'm like, why is nobody on the phone? And then I look online, and I'm like, oh shit, Doc got disconnected. So I've been trying to entertain, and it's probably been really shitty.
Yeah, I know. I actually called in on a hard line and was listening to you.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
No, I just couldn't unmute myself in order to go through the hard line, and finally I had to reset my connection here. It was my network on my side crashed. That's what happened. Sorry about that all. Yeah, El Succo for sure. So now I got to reopen all the chats.
I'm putting my son to sleep, and I'm like, okay, there's nothing going on. Am I still on the phone? And I pushed the button, and I'm like, okay, I'm still connected, so what the hell? And I'm like, oh shit, where did Doc go? So you can hear me? Okay, yeah, you got one on me. You could hear me talking to myself. Yay for you.
Yepper. Yeah, like I said, I called in on the hard line. This is, and and I was watching the board. I could see the board, but I couldn't do anything because it wasn't officially connected. You know what I mean? Because the internet wasn't there, so I couldn't push any buttons. I was even trying to start a song and couldn't get that to trigger off. Couldn't get anything to trigger off. So I actually had to disconnect and reconnect my my house network. Very weird. Crazy.
I had to do that with mine just now too. Everything just like randomly started going hella slow, and I know it's not my laptop. Excuse me. So I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on either. I know Comcast. If you have Comcast.
Nope.
Well, I got Comcast. They've been advertising that they're going to.
There's not a lot in my house. Sorry.
Hey, I got it from the internet. But yeah, they're supposed to be doubling everybody's current speeds and all that stuff. So in other words, whatever you're paying for currently, it's supposed to double, without extra charge and things like that. So I know they've been working on things, and that's the only thing I can assume is it's something that they're uploading or software or something on their end that's been acting up, because it's been acting up bad for the last week or so. And it ain't me. I got a brand new network. All my stuff's only a couple of months old. I own my own modems and my own routers and all that stuff. So it's all my own equipment, in other words. So I don't rely on them other than the cable coming into the wall. There's absolutely nothing I rely on them for, because I can't stand that crap. But anyway, I hope I finished that document and started to talk on that a little bit. And I don't know where you guys last heard, but basically, like I said, even with a warrant and law enforcement or anybody, FBI, CIA, whoever, doesn't matter, even with a warrant, they would not cross that sign. So that's how strong the language is in there. I don't understand it all yet, all the different codes, how it all breaks down, that's why I said it's something I've been working on for a long time. So I'm just waiting to hear back, make sure all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed. Once that does happen, then I will start putting that together, printing it out, and making it available to you guys as well. And I'll find out, because I'm sure I got to find out what ordinance for each state. In other words, at what height it's supposed to be posted at on the property, at what location, how large the sign is to be. All these different things come into play. That's why I laugh when I see these people. I just, staple them up on a tree or something. Hello, that don't cut it. Even if you put it on your fence. Okay, yeah, it's visual. I can visually see it. However, is it posted at the foot of the property, at your start property line? No, it's posted unless your fence goes up to your property, all the way to the end. My backyard is the only thing that's fenced in. All the rest is wide open area. So all these things come into a factor when you're doing and utilizing this kind of legal document. So you really have to check with your county ordinance, find out where it's supposed to be posted at and how many feet apart. Does it need to be posted more than once? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's stuff that I'm putting together to check it out. Cool. Lots of smoke in Central Florida. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm over here in Central Florida myself. I'm reading the chat room responses now. It all finally caught up again. Yeah, bad connection. Yep, that's where I'm at. So I'm not the only one. And that's good to hear somebody from my area as well for confirmation on that. But yeah, like I said, hopefully it's just because they're doing some updates. Anyway, sorry, don't know what happened to Jose. Maybe just lost track of time. Hopefully he'll pop up here at the top of the hour. So in the meantime, what do you say we play another song?
I'm down. Go for it.
Alrighty. Anything particular? Something new. Something wow.
Yeah, something we haven't heard in a while. Something from when I started listening last year in June or July. That would be great.
Oh, good. You found it, Mike. I was talking to Mike there in chat. He was asking about the castle law, the castle doctrine. I told him I know for Florida, under Florida law, that's what it's called. And he found the Wikipedia on it under castle doctrine. Thank you for sharing that link, Mike. Appreciate it. Actually, open up and check it out here. It says castle doctrine, also known as the castle law or defense of habitation law, is an American legal doctrine that designates a person abode, your house, or in some states, any place legally occupied, such as a car or a place of work, as a place in which the person has certain protections and immunities and may, in certain circumstances, use force, up to and including deadly force, to defend against an intruder without being liable to prosecution. Technically, deadly force is considered justified and a defense of justifiable homicide applicable in cases when the actor reasonably fears imminent peril of death or serious bodily harm to himself or another. The doctrine is not a defined law that can be invoked, but a set of principles which is incorporated in some form in the law of most states. The term derives from the historic English common law dictum that an Englishman's home is his castle. This concept was established as English law by the 17th century jurist Sir Edward Coke in his The Institutes of the Laws of England in 1628. The dictum was carried by colonists to the New World, who later removed English from the phrase, making it a man's home is his castle, which thereby became simply the castle doctrine. The term has been used in England to imply a person's absolute right to exclude anyone from their home, although this has always had restrictions, and since the late 20th century, bailiffs have also had increased powers of entry. So again, it all depends on where you're at. The term "make my day law" arose at the time of the 1985 Colorado statute that protects people from any criminal charge or civil suit if they use force, including deadly force, against an invader of the home. The law's nickname is in reference to the line, "Go ahead, make my day," uttered by actor Clint Eastwood's character Harry Callahan in the 1983 film Sudden Impact. So you just got to check around, folks. It is there. It's, like I said, it's not something that's maybe written out to say this is the code, that'll give it to you. But I just knew here in Florida, it is referred to still today as the castle law. So that's great. For that link, I really appreciate it, Mike. Well, good job there. Let's see. Michael's talking in chat here about Rod Class. Check him out if you get a chance, folks. He's got a show around here as well. I've heard him in the past. Good stuff, and he covers a lot of this topic as well on one of his shows, but we're not sure which one in the archive. Let's see, searches of images. Oh, yeah, there you go. Castle Doctrine, return. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you do some search for Castle Doctrine, you'll come up with a bunch of the images as well. I guess these are signs that were made up and posted around different properties and whatnot. Protected by Castle Doctrine warning. There's a picture of a handgun and a stop sign, kind of shape, octagon tape shape, if you will. So it's there, folks. Like I said, this is nothing that's new. This stuff has been around for forever, and it's good stuff. Now, it does vary from state to state, especially when you get up there to the original 13 colonies. Some of this stuff does vary extremely. Like I know in New Jersey, unless they changed it, that deadly force law, even on your own property, if you are to shoot, if you shoot a criminal, robber, let's say, breaking into your home, you shoot him. Of course, he's facing you coming in the door. You shoot him, and he falls out of the doorway and into the yard. You're going to be charged with that crime of murder because it happened. He wasn't inside the house itself. All right, so you got to be careful. That's why they always tell you, if you shoot somebody and kill somebody, drag them back inside. You run somebody over, drag them into your car. Kind of deal. That's kind of just the kind of way the craziness of laws are. I was watching all morning. They had started at 11 o'clock. All morning was I was watching the Senate as usual. We're talking about the 4 different They were talking about the four current bills on this gun stuff, and it was pretty interesting. I was listening to both sides of the argument, and everything seems to be really good. The bottom line, I think, at the end of it all, was that they would, basically have to get back to enforcing the current laws on the book. The one thing in the new law that they were working on, well, the new bill, I should say, hasn't become law yet. It's going to be a long time before it even makes it to the floor. This was the committee hearing, and the Senate committee hearing I was watching. So it's still, many, many months off before it's complete and out onto the floor. But the one senator was making a good point. He's like, they're talking about the straw law. Now, for those who don't understand it, it's similar to the straw man, if you will. And what it is, in other words, I know you're a criminal, and you can't buy a gun for whatever reason. Say you're a criminal, you have a felony, whatever the case may be, but you are unable to go purchase a weapon yourself because the law, for whatever reason, isn't allowing you to. And I know this. And I go and buy a gun for you and give it to you. Right? That falls under the straw law. I'm acting as a straw man, as the third party, to purchase this weapon and give it to you unlawfully. Where the conflict comes into play, and that's an existing law, actually. It's not a problem there, really. The problem what the senators have with it is it was the penalty that was being addressed to that particular charge. And in other words, make the penalty suit the crime. So in other words, if I commit a crime and I have a gun on me, it's minimum 5-year sentence type of deal. If I commit a crime and pull the weapon out and discharge the firearm, or even pull the weapon out, that's an automatic 10-year minimum. This new law, this straw law penalty, was set at, and mind you didn't kill anybody, you didn't rob anybody. The only thing you did was you bought the weapon for somebody else, and you gave it to another person, knowingly or not knowingly. Now that's where the problem comes in. And the guy used the example of, hey, a good friend of mine, he's a vet, and I want to get him a gift. I want to buy him a gun as a gift, because I'm like the American Legion guy or whatever, and he's one of my members, and he's been an outstanding member, and did a great service to the United States, and I got some extra money. I want to buy the guy a gun, so I go and buy him a gun, and I give it to him as a gift, not knowing even that for whatever reason, even as a vet, because now these vets are getting these letters saying they can no longer own or be in possession of a gun because they're mental, all right, which is bullshit because they've never been seen by a doctor, they've never been analyzed or anything. It's just another way of, of them grabbing guns, if you will. And that comes with a 20-year sentence. And I'm like, what? And the senator was like, what? You can't do that. You have to make the penalty fit the crime. So you're going to charge me for buying a gun, knowingly or not knowingly, giving it as a gift to someone else, right, or even selling it to someone else who may be barred, not by my knowledge, but may be barred from owning a weapon for whatever reason, and he goes out and uses it in a crime or not, but just gets caught with it. I go to jail for 20 years when the guy who pulls out a gun, holds up a bank, or holds up a convenience store or anything else, only gets 10 years? Hey, I did nothing wrong here. And that was the whole senator's point on this, so they are definitely going to work a change on that. And again, it goes to the same principle of crimes, meaning the penalty, and we've gotten away from that standard that we used to have here. The one was one of my favorites. It's been around forever. Okay, trust me, folks. I'm not condoning. I'm not telling people to go out and do this. I'm just using it as examples, though, because it's on the books as penalties. If I say go to Jessie and I sexually assault her and rape her, okay, I get charged minimum. I go away for 20 years. However, if I sexually assault her, rape her, and then kill her, okay, and I kill Jessie after the fact, guess what? The minimum sentence is only 15 years. Now, wait a minute. If she survives, I get 20. If I kill her, I get only 15. Come on. So it all falls under the whole thing. Make the crime, make the penalty, equivalent to the crime. Just like the old Beretta theme song. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Well, that crime and that time needs to be in some form of coherence. In other words, you can't sit there and, hey, I got caught speeding. You're going to arrest me for 50 and lock me up for 50 years? No, you can't do that. You know what I mean? The penalty does not meet the crime, and that was a big part of the arguments on the committee today. A lot of good stuff in there. I do, not against it. I mean, they're really just trying to give a little bit more power and up to existing laws like the straw law, which is already in place. And really, both sides were saying the same thing. The problem really isn't the law itself; it's the enforcement. Prosecutors simply are not prosecuting these particular cases. So that's really what it comes down to. You can have all the laws on the book. You can, make it look, and that's what their argument was. Look, you're doing something to make it look like we're doing something, when really it ain't doing shit. It's all, and I thought that was great because the senators were saying that, not saying the word shit, obviously, but we're basically saying, look, we're doing this for a dog and pony show. We're doing this to make it look like we're doing something against gun control, when we know exactly what we're doing isn't going to accomplish a damn thing. And of course, they had all the statistics proving that the more guns on the street, the lower crime is in the area. Look at the states that have stricter gun laws; they have a higher murder rate and crime act.
Can I say something real quick?
Citizens, absolutely, dear.
Didn't mean to interrupt you. Apparently, I'm overpowering you again. Out here in Eastern Oregon, I'm gonna tell you something. We don't have that crap happen here, and I'll give you one guess as to why.
Because everybody has a gun.
No, that was good. That's either that or everybody has a bow and some arrows, and I do. I mean, out here at our Walmart, you won't see any of that crap happen, like what happened at those elementary schools or at the frickin' Clackamas Town Center in Portland or, whatever. You won't find that crap out here because we hunters, and I say we hunters because I'm one too, whether we be bow hunters or we be gun hunters, it doesn't matter. We're walking around not only in our specs, but we're also walking around with our weapons. You will not see, and they're out in the open, so we're not going to get in trouble. You will see that out here in the country. That's why we don't have stupid crap like that happen.
One of my favorite,
awesome.
like I think they had it on Dumb Criminals or something. They had that shit. I don't know if they used to have a TV show years ago on some of that. They did dumbass and stupid ass criminal things like that. My morning radio DJ, he used to cover a lot of that stuff. And
I love listening to those. It brightens up my day. It makes me realize how smart I really am.
And well, one of the ones that they had on the show the one day, it was hysterical. Under the dumbest criminals kind of deal. The guy goes into a place to rob it, to hold it up. It wasn't a jewelry store. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was like a bar. It was like a bar or something. So anyway, he goes into this bar. He's going to hold up the bar. Yeah, the bar he was holding up, he pulled out his weapon to hold it up. Before he can blink, everybody in the entire establishment, including the bartender and the 98-year-old lady that was sitting there at the table, had their guns drawn.
Yeah.
So, hello, it was a cop bar. Now, if you're going to rob a place, don't you think you should scope it out? I don't think going into a cop bar is, hello, not a bright move at all,
Well, it's like the same thing here. You walk in there, you say, there's a stick-up or whatever, dude, before they can even blink. Like you said, it's not even 5 seconds. We'll either have our bows drawn, arrows knocked, or freaking guns ready. I mean, I love it. I love it.
It's funny as hell. Well, and then there was another guy who I guess had planned out a robbery. He went and planned. He goes and plans out this robbery or whatever. I guess he had a couple of friends and all in on this. They're going to go rob someplace, right? Day of the robbery, they go and rob this place. They go and bust in. They got the address wrong, and the place they went in to rob was a gun shop.
That's freaking funny. Oh my gosh.
A different location. They had the address wrong. They end up going to the wrong place to rob. When they walk in the door, there's all these customers. Everybody's holding guns, and they're like, shit, we're you know, it's like, we went to the wrong place. Because that wasn't their intended target. It was someplace else. But we screwed up, you know. Yeah, I don't think you want to do that. You don't want to go in and hold up a pawn shop, especially down here in the South. Everything is nothing but guns, you know. Everybody walking around with loaded weapons. So yeah, that wasn't too bright of an idea, but it's so true. I mean, the more guns on the street, the less crime you're going to have. You know, you ask any criminal in prison for any reason, and they've done this, and the statistics are like through the roof, like something like 98% of the people they've interviewed in prison, and they'll ask them, what are you afraid of most? You know, these are, you know, robbers and murderers, and you know, all class of people they interview when they do this kind of stuff. You know, who are you afraid of most? You know, law enforcement with, you know, their weapons and the SWAT teams and all that, or the average citizen. And every single one of them said they're more afraid of the gun-carrying, law-abiding citizen over any form of law enforcement. Because at least with law enforcement, you know they're coming. You know, you go and break into a house, you don't know if that person's armed or not. You go to rob somebody or attack somebody, you don't know if that person's packing or not. Now, of course, in these big cities or states where the gun laws are so strict and binding, that's why the crimes are so high. Because, you know, the odds are in the criminal's favor in order to get away with a robbery. You get into some of these southern states, or, you know, even in the Midwest and whatnot, you get in these other states where everybody's packing. They ain't going to be stupid enough to hold somebody up, because the odds are against you that that person is also armed and dangerous. So it just makes common sense. And the senators were making a lot of great points. They were using those type of statistics, and it actually felt good for a change watching my C-SPAN crap, because I watch it so you guys don't have to. But yeah, I actually felt good this morning watching the hearings, because what they were saying was right on the money. They were given, you know, the real statistics. You know, that we got to not put more gun enforcement down. We need to lighten up. You know, of course, it's in the state hands. The federal government doesn't have that much control. They have some control, but it really, you know, it varies state to state. Carrying laws are different state to state. Open carry in some states, none in others. You know, so you know, it all is handled at the state level. Federal government, as far as guns go, and gun laws and whatnot, are very limited in their power, what they can and cannot do. And by the end of it all, it really just came down to is we need to enforce the laws that are currently on the books. Would make a much better impact, if you will, than trying to come up with rewriting what we already have, or new and more confusing laws on the gun issue. Because people are smart now, and they're catching on, and they realize the whole thing is nothing but smoke and mirrors and a dog and pony show. And the senators are even vocally saying this outright, saying, look, you know, we're going to sit around here for so many hours, we're going to talk about something that is going to absolutely accomplish nothing, just to make it look like we're trying to do something.
Oh.
You know? So they're even telling you, you know, that they're tired of the game. You know, even the senators and our representatives are just, they've had enough. Yeah, they really have. They just had enough of the bullshit, which is a good thing. So you're going to start seeing and hearing from me, because I'm their biggest critic, if you will, especially because I watch this stuff all the time. You'll start hearing better comments. They're doing right. You know, at least they're trying to, and at least they're letting us know that hey, they're aware of the situation. They know the game, and more of them are starting to get their balls, if you will, like Ron Paul had when he was out there telling them like it is, and it's happening more and more on a regular basis, especially on the committees that I watch. The floor itself, maybe they ain't got the balls to come out on the floor and say such things, but they are saying it in front of the cameras at the committee hearings and whatnot, and that's important. So at least we know that they know what's going on, and that we as well understand it. Hey, please, glad you could make it there, buddy. Always glad to see you when you get a chance to pop in there. I don't know where everybody's at tonight. Straw law sounds similar to Miss Prison. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, it's really there is like you hear this talk especially based about the straw man. There's no such thing in the way we're using. There is a law or straw, which is a third party representative of another. And that's what it is, the straw law. You are a third party representative. You're going to purchase something for somebody else. In banking, more often than not, you see this straw, or contracts, you see this straw where so like your attorney is your representative. He actually then becomes your straw man. He's acting on your behalf. Okay? So if you hire an attorney, he is actually your straw man because he's acting on your behalf with your permission. In a banking situation, you sign a check. You know, I got a check. It's endorsed to me, made out to me. I endorsed it, but I don't feel like going to the bank. My wife goes to the bank for me. So she takes it to the bank, and she endorses under me. She then becomes the straw, the third-party representative of that contract. Because your check has a signature, folks. It's a contract. It's a contract of payment. Remember, everything we sign is a contract. Everything, no matter what it is, in court or anything else, there's only a couple of things that they first establish is jurisdiction. That's easy enough. Second thing, they establish what contract is in question. Also, what many people don't realize, and this is what makes me laugh, you know, if you don't know, you don't know. Because we all go about, it's done every day. All statute laws that carry a fine and or penalty. Now, this includes your traffic laws, folks. Okay? That's a statutory law, and it comes with a fine and penalty attached to it. You realize that actually that falls under criminal law. That's right. Any and all laws other than a small claims for under a contract, small claims kind of deal. Other than that, because that's set, it's a preset thing. If it's a statutory law and it comes with a fine and penalty attached to it, no matter what it is, it falls under criminal law because only, excluding small claims, only in a criminal court proceeding can any fine or penalty be given. And since it's criminal law, you are entitled to a jury trial. That includes for a traffic ticket, folks. People don't realize the power that they have. So next time you want to play some games with the court, and you're a U.S. citizen, and you haven't corrected your status yet to get out of the mat, just kind of keep that in mind next time you go to court, and you call them and notify them ahead of time. Change of venue because I request a court stenographer and a trial by jury. You know what, folks? They have no choice. They will either dismiss it or, okay, they'll bring you in front of the judge with a court stenographer. And you don't want to use their stenographer. You want to hire your own. You want to lease your own for that day. And the judge is going to be, frowned upon on that. The reason you want to do that is because the judge will make up laws from the bench. All right. However, if there's an outside, because you'll often hear, strike that from the record. Strike that from the record. or he'll have a deal because it's his court stenographer. He'll have a deal with him, like after it's all over with and you're no longer there. They'll go over the transcript and he'll say, "Okay, we'll take that out." Even though he's not taking it part, and they'll put in unclear audio or something. In other words, oh, we didn't hear that person clearly, so we just left that sentence blank. We know something was said, but we don't know what was said, type of thing. And they pull these kind of games all the time. But you bring in your own that you hired for the day. Guess what? You're no longer going to have the judge saying, "Oh, strike that from the record." You're not going to have them yelling and cursing and screaming at you. You're not going to have them making up the law as they go from the bench, if you will. It really keeps them in check. It's holding their foot to the fire because that stenographer works for you for that day. It's not his personal one assigned to him by in his courtroom. So you can play games. That's all I'm letting you know. So, anywho, a couple more people are popping up in the chat room. That's always good to see. It's still a slow night. I don't know where everybody's at tonight. Very strange. I don't know. So the times got thrown off or what's happening here. There's no callers on the boards. No other questions or links to share at the moment. Hope everybody's having a good time tonight. Jose, I hope you're all right out there, brother. You're back, I guess, must have acted up again since I talked to you this morning. Or you got called out away, which is fine. So we're just hanging out tonight. We had a couple of topics earlier on. Had some technical difficulties with my internet, so I got thrown off the board. Took me a little bit to get back in. And yes, Jesse was kind enough to try to entertain everybody while I was trying to log back in. That was pretty good. Thank you, Jess, for that.
Oh. If it didn't suck, I would have said you're welcome.
Hey, it's all good, kiddo. At least you tried. At least you were there and it wasn't dead air. That's the main thing. Oh, boy. You got old BTR, but actually that time I can't even blame BTR. That one was all mine. Bye. Just bringing back some flashback memories of the good old days when I used to have my own DJ company. I miss spinning those records and jamming to the beat. Big time out in the clubs, sometimes 7 nights a week. I was all over the place. Even worked on a cruise ship for about 5 years spinning records. So a lot of fun back in those days. Got a lot of songs to go along with that, with those cruising days as well. I got a question. How you know about what changes are in the LB's new edition of TRA? No, I do not, please. Thank you for the question and reminder. Yes, there is the new edition of the Red Amendment. The 2012 edition is finally out, and the classes are up and running, gang. Please go over there to packalliance.us and check out the classes. I believe there's at least 2, if not 3 levels of classes that you can attend. The prices are all out there for you. LB runs those personally. I think they're weekly classes. I'm not sure what the class schedule is themselves. But no, since I do not have a current update edition myself, I haven't gotten one yet myself. Bad daddy. Yeah, so no, I don't know the changes that are in it, to be honest with you. Nothing really changes. The law never changes in the aspect of that. I'm sure he just added more to it, so I'd be interested to see myself. But please, get your copy if you haven't. If you're new to the show, what we're talking about is the Red Amendment. It's our textbook here on the 14th Amendment, all the evils that pertain to it, and the laws of expatriation to free yourself from the slavery of citizen and put yourself back in your rightful country, i.e. the state that you were born. We have about 15 minutes left in tonight's show. I don't see any callers on the board. No questions coming out of the BTR chat room either. I'm glad you guys could be with us. Always glad to see you guys join us when you can. Michael couldn't take too much more music, so he said goodnight and headed on out for the evening. Keith has finally popped in. We saw you drop in earlier. Just want to give a shout out to you. We appreciate you when you jump in and say hello to us. And, of course, as always, don't forget to call in if you have any questions, comments, or a topic that you would like to cover and discuss. And that is 714-868-0749. I hope everybody's having a rocking good time tonight. Sorry we did not get to our regular scheduled broadcast, but every once in a while it's good to take a break, and hopefully Jose is doing just fine and he's either had some technical difficulties or his back started to bother him again. And our prayers go out to him. Hope everything is A-OK with him. We're down to our final 5 minutes of the show. Jessie girl, my wild one, she's here with us as always. Still dancing there, kiddo?
Hell yeah, I'm here.
All right, baby. We love you. Folks, thanks as always for joining us. We're going to take it on the run to take us out for the evening. Don't forget to join us back here for our basic classes on Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and then usually our advanced shows with the occasional little dance party like we had tonight on Thursday nights, also at 7 p.m. Eastern. With that, say goodnight, Jessie.
Good night, Jesse. Good night, everybody. Have fun, have a good weekend, and all that other stuff. I know I will. I got my new toy this week, and I got to freaking raise some work, so I'm doing good. Have a good week, y'all.
We love you, sister. We're going to take it on the run, folks. Until next time we meet, God bless. Be safe.